A dream wrapped just in fire. The NFT analyzer, diving deep into projects. He's the crypto energizer. From your meme coins to tokens, he's got all the intel. Web3 wizardry, he'll show you where to excel. He's got the insights.
Good morning, fellas. Mega GMs, welcome to Inside NFTs. You know, for old time's sake, we'll drop that one. Cats GMs. It's my bro, Dead. Good morning, man. Good to see you guys. Good morning to you guys over on Abstract as well, over on X. We dropped some links here, and wherever you're watching, guys. Smash the like on the show. But make sure you come over to the YouTube side and subscribe over there. The account name is CryptoSlam. You know us. Boom. All right, guys. What can I say? Look, I'm not going to talk to you guys like I know anything here today. We're pretty clear about that, I think, at this point, right? Yeah, I have like my favorite new term out there. It's like in the world of coding, it's vibe coding. I love the term. I love it. I just like what it stands for. What we're doing here is vibe learning. Can we call it that? Yeah. What's happening here? Hang on. How's our stream right now? Are we okay? Just got a message here. I think on Abstract we might have a little problem. Let me check real quick. I'll talk as I'm investigating here. Yeah, it looks like the Abstract stream went bye-bye. What's up, player? Good to see you, man. Hang on. Let me kill the Abstract stream and then bring it back. Boom. And then boom. Okay, apologies for that, guys. Are we good over there now? I think so. Maybe not. Oh, I'm not going to get stuck on this for too long. Anyway, you see it out there. You see what's happening. Some people trying to make sense of it. I think there's some guys who are pretty well equipped for that. And I'm watching and I'm paying attention because we're certainly in a time unlike anything we've seen before. And all I can do is draw on maybe past experiences, past, happenings we've seen out there and try to guess where we're going. Nobody knows. With someone as unpredictable as Trump in office and this trade war that's only escalating, we're in a really interesting time. It's something we have honestly never seen before. Never. So what we're going to do is we're going to vibe learn today. We're going to look through what people are talking about, what developments are coming in live, as has been happening over the past couple of weeks, and even into last night, into this morning, developments. And we'll still see that probably this morning. The market opens up here in 24 minutes. 24 minutes. We'll see. We'll see. I have some thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts. I don't know if a lot of people agree with me. I think some do. I don't know if most people agree with my thoughts about yes ordinals. Some of these price predictions I have, where we're going. It's AI too. But I don't know if most agree with me about what I think might be coming here in the very short term for crypto, for Bitcoin especially. Essentially, I think this is the moment for Bitcoin. The moment that Bitcoin becomes that special asset, that special thing that has decoupled from everything else. Maybe becomes more like gold. This might be that moment happening right in front of us. I think often we're bad at recognizing moments when we're in them. I think that's safe to say. We usually see after the fact, after the moment has happened and you see the rest of the world reacting to a moment, then we get it. Things are a little more obvious then, right? There's a chance that's what's happening right now. Yeah, what's happening right now might be that moment for Bitcoin. We shall see. Again, throughout the stream, I'll share my thoughts on what that might be, what that might look like, why this might be that moment. Yeah, darn, that stinks about the abstract side. I don't think I can fix it here. Yeah, I don't know. It's set up properly, so it might just be that abstract. Well, I see other people streaming, right? Having trouble streaming your destination. You know what? Let's just zap this. By the way, I see some of these really nice comments out there. Player, I'm still. Don't worry, we'll be chatting. Fog, good morning. Moon, it's cool to see you, man. I love seeing like the familiar faces and some people that used to be by the show. I dig it. Moonship, it's not a bad idea, right? There's downside risk, yes. The upside risk, if what might be happening actually happens, is tremendous. Let me see if I can even knock those ads back. I don't like them. It's not like we make money on them, really. Politicians look at long-term goals. The people want quick solutions. And there's something even more interesting happening here, too, player. And it's comments from Trump this morning talking about this. He's in man, it's not that he's a changed man, but he's a man who knows his time is limited and doesn't give a fuck anymore. And so you'll see a comment he made this morning that should be pretty telling about what's coming. Who he has in mind for the changes he's making and what's directing his policy now. It's not the Wall Street guys. Yeah, I think Abstract is cooked right now. Yeah, I just can't get that stream working. It's trying. I think their services are having some trouble here. Anyway, let me stop rambling. There's gonna be plenty more rambling coming here. You can follow me, guys, over on X at Hudah_idiot. Of course, follow us at CryptoSlam.io, also on X. SlamAI_XYZ. So much coming in this ecosystem. And guys, make sure tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. actually a good place to mention this. Morning show. This show right here will be an hour earlier tomorrow. We'll start at 9 a.m. Eastern time because 8 a.m. Eastern time. Because at 9 a.m. we'll be with the Vader team, with the Billy Betts team. And geez, I should know this. Hang on. This is bad. With the, what's his name? Aki. This is the Wake Hacker team. This is the next early agent offering on the Vader platform. Awesome agent that audits smart contracts. Really, really cool. So we'll have them on the show. The fantastic Graham, great content creator around the virtuals ecosystem. And Randy will be there and Scott will be there. Of course, I'll be on there too. Is Virtuals going to be on there as well? Yeah, I think we might have the Virtuals guys on there too. It should be a really great chat. Talking about swarms, talking about your current class of agents. Anyway, 9 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, we'll be live over there. So this show, again, will be 1 hour earlier. Cutie, good morning. Good to see you. And then finally, follow the Swarm. It's the Swarm_AI. We have our afternoon show Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern time called the Swarm Report. Fun show yesterday. We got... yes, I did a little rambling there, too, about all kinds of things, but something we'll actually talk a little more about today, and it is UBI and AI and an era of abundance. Things are changing. This is part of it. If the world is going to be changing, that I think it is, AI replacing jobs, UBI being a factor somewhere, just an incredibly extreme deflation, and I do think all that's happening, the world's going to change drastically, and I would probably argue what's happening right now is part of that transition. That transition is not going to be smooth. It's going to be extreme, and you guys felt it, right? Over the past few years at least. Maybe it goes back further, but the events that happen out there are extreme, and then more extreme, and then more extreme, and they happen in succession. It happens faster. There is something big happening and changing out there, and it's ramping up, it's escalating. And so as crazy as this period is right now, it's very crazy. This is not the end. There will be something in a year or two. There will be something else a year or two after that. There will be something 6 months after. This is an escalating thing. The world is changing. Yeah, a lot of this because Trump is in office, but some of these changes were going to happen no matter what. In fact, some might argue that what Trump is doing is, like he's saying, ripping the Band-Aid off and dealing with something that maybe needed to be dealt with anyways, somehow, some way. And I'm sure you can say there's a better way to do it. I would probably say that too. That said, let's start talking about what is happening out there. What's up, Murray? Good to see you, brother. Trump's comment this morning. Yeah. Trump is, again, his short time in office, 4 years isn't long if he makes it. I'm not convinced he's gonna. But it's not the Wall Street guys he's taking care of, which is what we would have thought at least years ago. Taking care of the Wall Street guys, taking care of the different class. They might say one thing, they do the other. This is different. I think Trump is different. Doesn't mean good different, but I think he's different. Doesn't care. Going to do what he believes. He does believe this stuff that he believes is right. And right for who? Who's going to benefit, guys? And he's saying it's not the Wall Street guys. He's not wrong about this. Wall Street's grown wealthier for 4 decades. Absolutely. It's the Wall Street guys that get bailed out. For the next 4 years, it's Main Street's turn. Does he know enough about Main Street and your common man and your average working person? Does he know that? I don't think ever in his life he's known or felt or experienced anything like that. Does he know what's best? Does he know the struggles people go through? It's different when you see it on paper, and when you go shake hands and you talk to people for a minute. That's different than actually knowing it, living it. I'm not convinced he knows. I am convinced he's doing what he believes is right, as does every supervillain in history, right? Again, that's not a comment on Trump exactly, but just to say a lot of these guys think they're doing the right thing. As we saw last week, it might have been Naval saying it, but you need to judge these things not based on the intent, but on the outcome. And right now, in this short little time frame, yikes. If you guys are watching on Abstract, by the way, like the stream, okay, the stream is up there. Cats, the stream's back working. Nothing changed on my end. It just their service is working. So if you prefer watching on Abstract, you can head over there. It seems okay. Market's open in 15 minutes. I'm paying attention to accounts like Zero Hedge. I'm paying attention to anybody who will say anything that makes sense here. I'm paying attention here. Today might be a day that is more extreme than any of the past we've seen over this, the past week, right? There will be fallout from this. There will be casualties from this. There will be. Yeah. I mean, Moon, yeah. By the way, I love your PFP. Oh, I do want to comment something we talked about yesterday briefly. Tyler's tweet that referenced, it was a White House, what was it? An official announcement statement, whatever, but talking about the U.S. dollar as the reserve currency. And I said I think Tyler was misinterpreting it, right? It was not a comment about us trying to remove the dollar from that position. I didn't think it meant that, right? It's not about the U.S. dollar no longer being a reserve currency. No, I think I'm wrong, because I saw other people comment on that too. Somebody, I think like Matt Hogan, saying the same thing as Tyler. Guys, that is pretty spicy. If that comment there was meant to say, maybe hint at something with crypto, then wow. It now feeds into what I think might be coming for crypto, which again, might be the special moment here. It might be. I think it could be. I think it is. And it's comments like this. Jeff is the, I believe, head of strategy for Bitwise. A lot of these guys I reference, like Matt Hogan from Bitwise. I like these guys a lot. I think they're really, really wise guys. Yeah, dude. I think I started following Zero Hedge a bit before COVID, but, I like these guys who are a little more, I like a different kind of woke. It is what it is. And I like all perspectives, so I like them. What is it, Jeff? Hang on. Head of Alpha Strategies at Bitwise. Okay, yeah. This is what I'm feeling. It's the thing that we all were hoping for Bitcoin. It's the thing we believed in Bitcoin. We've been believers. Yes, it is culty. We've been believers in Bitcoin for years, most of us years, that Bitcoin would become a different kind of asset, a safer asset. And you could probably have a whole episode dedicated to what that is. We're not going to do that here, but I'm with Jeff here. For the first time, the thought hit me and didn't feel like theory, but an actual truth to grapple with. That thought being that Bitcoin survives over the dollar in our lifetime. And that what's happening right here, right now, is that moment. And if it's not the moment where it happens right here, right now, it plays into it. It's this instability across the world in any currency you look at and any market you could try to move in and out of to try to flee to safety. It might not exist. But Bitcoin is the thing that exists right here, right now that, guys, it in a way can't be manipulated. You can't change it. There is no printing more Bitcoin. It doesn't exist. All these other currencies, you guys see it. It's all a big game. It's all a big game. It's all manipulated. All of it. In Bitcoin, to a large degree, isn't. That changes when enough people have enough control over the supply. That is coming too. That's a moment we want to be here for, though, and want to be in. But that might be happening right here, right now. Dude, the Wayfinder quests. Yeah, I didn't do it, but it was worth doing. It was very low cost for some kind of stimmy. Marty, good morning. Yeah. This is, I mean, again, volatility is something that, look, it can be fun. It can be scary. It is dangerous. There will a lot of people who will be hurt from it too. But also it's where you find the best opportunity. As things like get shuffled and you find a new balance, when you feel where that balance is going, you can get in there and, man, it's really what you want to be doing. It's what you want to be looking for. Again, I don't wish harm on anybody, but we're here for some opportunities, and those opportunities are coming. Anyway, Bitcoin right here, right now, there is something happening with it, and it's feeling like a reality here. We'll look at the price of Bitcoin in a moment. I still think holding up incredibly well, right? An event like this in the past, you would have seen Bitcoin plummet, absolutely just crash, right? It's what I would have expected past cycles. Absolutely expect. Not just like think it'll happen, whatever, like expect it happens. It's not happening this time. What's up, Christian? Good morning. You're just hearing me ramble this morning. It's probably what I'll do the whole show. There's not a ton happening out there. I mean, there's stuff happening out in, crypto and NFTs, but there's just a bigger thing happening. And Christian, I said earlier, I obviously not an expert on this stuff, and I don't want to speak to anybody and pretend to be that. It's very clear I'm not. But I call this like vibe learning. We're just going to try to understand this all together. So we'll go through again what people are talking about out there. Yep, so pressing on with the tariffs. And this is what Henry and I chatted last night about this too. It's oh boy, whatever's happening, who's it going to impact and how long and what is the way out? And I think we have some ideas on the way out. But here you go. The tumult on Wall Street in the stock market, while significant, yes, will not be matched by a similar tumult in the Main Street economy. Maybe. I'm not sure he's calculated this right. I'm not sure. I think there are some backup plans and things that will happen in the very short term that allow this to play out. I think so. Stimmy. Some kind of stimmy. Some kind of check arriving in your mailbox. Like, I mean it. There are, just think of bailouts. Every time there's a catastrophe like this, there's a bailout. Someone gets a bailout. What's up, DeYank? Someone gets a bailout. It's either the banks or certain businesses and sometimes the people, but bailouts always happen. They do. And it's why I'm not worried. No matter what, a bailout is coming in some form. In some form. I'm not worried. But man, people are properly spooked. It's safe to say that. You have stocks absolutely crashing, and there's not a flight to bonds as you would expect. I'm learning so much, by the way. It's interesting, but not a flight to these kind of assets. Nobody's buying. Nobody's buying them. Nobody believes the dollar is going to hold its value over 10 years, over 30 years. Nobody believes it now. Scary for some people. Again, rightfully so. If there's nothing you can invest in that you have confidence in the short term or the long term, where do you go? Where do you go? You guys know the answer. I know the answer. I think the rest of the world is starting to figure out the answer. Starting to. There's going to be a moment where it's not that they start to, it's that they capitulate. I think people know. I think people know what that asset is, and it's right in front of us. And everybody, you talk about Wall Street versus Main Street, everybody on Wall Street knows Main Street has started waking up to it too. There is one asset that's different from the rest, and there's only, by the way, 21 million of them. It's not much. So the trade war continuing to heat up. This was big news that dropped last night. Not only is China not backing down, they're doubling down, adding on an additional 84% tariff on U.S. goods. They now have tariffs at, I believe it's like 130, let's say 135% on U.S. goods. They're beating our 104% tariffs. Not backing down for now. For now. But yes, something's about to break. Someone is going to have to give. Someone or something is going to have to give. Again, we will see casualties. We'll see, unfortunately, businesses fail if this continues more than probably even just a few days. But the systems, I don't believe, can withstand this for long. Bailouts in some form have to be coming. Christian, where do you allocate right now? Christian's my guy for that. Again, it's a game of chicken. I'm not convinced we win that game of chicken. I lean that way, though. I lean that we win this. Although I see some other scenarios that could play out that mean Trump is miscalculated and now we're at a disadvantage. We're not there right now. I don't think we're close to that, but we'll see. Former Treasury Secretary Summers, what's Summers' first name? Says U.S. might be headed for a serious financial crisis. Again, obvious. This continues on. Absolutely. We're in it right now. We're in it right now. But again, somebody conceding, or I love capitulation. I love that word. So capitulating means we go back. Guys, if this is all fixed this week, trade deals announced, I expect that even as soon as today, right? Deals with like Japan, Korea, different countries in the EU help. I don't think they fix it. In fact, there might be some permanent damage from this too. There might be some very permanent damage from all this too. But again, I don't think, while there's going to be some short-term Band-Aids, some short-term solutions, I think things at a fundamental level have changed. I think the world has just shifted. Again, so the same way 9/11 changed everything. Like the event happened, we've moved on, but we don't move on and things are just as they were before. In fact, this is one of my big problems with Trump wanting to go back to how things were. You can't. You can never go back to that. It is a different world. There is no just like waving a wand and you go back to how things are. It just, that isn't reality. You go forward and maybe you try to copy that. I always find like that's a mistake, trying to replicate things in the past. That's what he is trying to do. I think there's no going back. But that's not to say some things in the past maybe weren't right, maybe weren't a better way, but it can't look exactly how it did before. Peter Schiff is the biggest bear in the world. Doesn't mean he's wrong, by the way. But, the exact kind of posts I expect from him. U.S. stocks, bonds, and dollar are all down. It's a broad-based liquidation of U.S. assets. Trump claims his tariffs will cause foreigners to invest in the U.S. to avoid tariffs. Instead, tariffs have already resulted in foreigners pulling their money out of the U.S. Treasury market crashing. That's what we were just looking at. The 10-year hit 4.5%, and the yield on the 30-year hit 5%. And this is what I expect in the short term as well. Emergency rate cut, possible. I don't know. We're watching Powell. Everybody is. Trump's trying to put pressure. Look, this is why Trump was trying to put pressure on him from the get-go. The rate cut that early didn't make sense, but it did if he knew these tariffs were coming. There has to be a rate cut. There has to be. Or there has to be some other kind of stimulus. Has to be. Otherwise, in this very short term, I'm within weeks here, within a couple of weeks, maybe by the end of this month, you will see businesses going out of business. You will. Christian, I believe we'll see some kind of resolution or stimulus in the near future. Buying the dips in equities. Super uncertain, so yep. And then personally, if I were liquid, I'm a gambler. I am. It's not like I'm a big gambler, right? But I'm a gambler. For me, I would be all in on Bitcoin. I see little downside. There is downside for sure. Make no mistake. There is downside. But I would be all in on Bitcoin right now. Fed is on the clock. It is breaking. Stocks down. Well, these are the two scenarios. Stocks down. 10-year yield down would be good. Stocks down, 10-year yield up like it is right now, bad. Not game over bad, but that's where we're heading, and we're heading there quickly, like game over bad. Like that bad. I like DC Investor a lot. In fact, part of my, kind of thoughts about UBI and AI and that whole separate conversation, he weighed in on that yesterday, and I love his thoughts. I agree with this guy so much. But yeah, these tariffs, ridiculous, sloppily constructed, yes. Saying that they would cause tremendous damage if they stand. Agreed. Yeah, no, absolutely agree. Therefore, they cannot. They can't stand. They won't stand. They will break things. Again, they're intended to really strain this system. They are. For leverage. They can't and they won't stand. Something will break. Again, by design. And so DCA Investor is in at this point thinking the same thing. Like people can say the same thing different ways. This is how DC Investor is saying, very similar to what I'm saying here. There's downside risk, not a ton. Fog, if I were liquid, I would not be liquid anymore. Yep. Yeah. That's a great point. Again, China not backing down either, though. Prepared to deal with these uncertainties. Are they? Kevin O'Leary, as extreme as anybody is, I don't know that he's extreme. He's just very blunt. I think he speaks a lot of truth in this, too. Talking about China. And he's right about a lot of this. Maybe he's right about all of it. To say that these tariffs are unfair, maybe. There's also very unfair things on other sides, especially from China. Let's listen to a part of this.
104% tariffs in China are not enough. I'm advocating 400%. I do business in China. They don't play by the rules. They've been in the WTO for decades. They have never abided by any of the rules they agreed to when they came in for decades. They cheat, they steal IP. I can't litigate in their courts. They take product, technology, they steal it, they manufacture it, and sell it back here. Never has an administration.
400% tariffs? What would that
I
look
want
like?
Xi on an airplane to Washington to level the playing field. This is not about tariffs anymore. Nobody has taken on China yet, not the Europeans.
This is when I said earlier, ripping off the Band-Aid. Sometimes you need to take off the bandage, carefully, right? It's not just an amputation or whatever analogy you want to use. There is a problem there that did need to be dealt with. I would rather it be dealt with, to be totally honest here. I would rather it be dealt with than do what we've been doing, either not addressing it, just letting it be, and then manipulating markets elsewhere to counter things, to make up for imbalances, whatever. I'd rather stop kicking the can down the road and having kids now, one who's going to be 18 in a month. I'd rather not kick this can down the road for them to deal with. I wouldn't. Don't want the pain and suffering and all that now, but it happens at some point. At some point. What's up, Hoods?
No administration for decades. As someone who actually does business there, I've had enough. I speak for millions of Americans who have IP that have been stolen by the Chinese. I have nothing against the Chinese people. They brought great literacy, art, and tech to the world. The government cheats and steals, and finally, an administration, you may not like Trump, you may not like his style or his rhetoric, finally, an administration that puts up and says enough.
I will cut that there. It's not going to be painless. That's for sure. Let's look at crypto, and then we'll start talking potential solutions, and I don't know. I don't know what they are. There's a few in mind. I like when, again, I'm trying to learn this along the way, and so some of these I kind of like, well, they could do this, right? They could do this, and it turns out that's what some people say too. I'm like, all right, I'm starting to pick up on things. Again, I think Bitcoin especially is holding up remarkably well. I really, really do. I do. I'm shocked to see it here basically at 77K. Last cycle this I don't think would have been possible. I don't believe it. This time around, things are very, very different. Bitcoin, again, 77K, up almost 1% in the past hour. Down on the week, yes. About 10%. ETH struggling, 1,400. Ripple buck 79. Where's Solana? 104. By the way, guys, did Solana drop below 100? Did we get to 99 yet, or is that still to come? By the way, again, I do think we have lower to go. I do. On the ETF side, Bitcoin, 326 mil in outflows yesterday. I pay attention to that. On the east side, 3.3 mil in outflows. And man, even World Liberty Finance capitulating here. Sold some ETH. Sold some ETH. I don't know what they've bought. I don't know what they're doing with that money. Maybe there's a reason for that. I was surprised to see it. I think a lot of people were. But there it is. It's happening. Just scanning the timeline here. Market open. Actually, market just opened 3 minutes ago. So keep me posted there, guys. Let me know any developments. I'll do my best to keep an eye on it too. And we'll just kind of keep putting up, breaking headlines, whatever, on the screen. Trump says pass the tax cut bill now. I don't actually know what that bill is. I'm not sure what it is in there exactly. I don't know if that's part of no capital gains tax. I'm not sure. There will be some movements quickly here. There has to be. Again, there has to be. Wow. When was that, Christian? Okay, the other day during that initial, wow. Again, something has to give here, and something will give. If it comes down to Powell not budging, deals not happening, although those deals, it sounds like, are happening. If you believe Trump, for the most part, I don't. It depends. You can kind of tell when he's bullshitting and not. But he's saying that these countries are calling, phone is off the hook, looking to make deals. This hurts them maybe more than it hurts us. That's probably true. These deals will happen at some point. In the meantime, though, something's going to give. A tax cut bill? Maybe. Most likely some kind of stimulus in the short term. I'll come back to this, by the way, Raoul Pal in his banana zone. We'll get to that. But more blood on the way, I think, for sure. Treasury Secretary Bessent, when asked about removing Chinese stocks from the U.S. exchanges, everything's on the table. Again, this fighting is going to get deeper, bigger, more. It's going to get worse. Guys, add in the fact that there's a very, very serious concerns now about war with Iran. Very serious. Very serious. That is not... It's another game of chicken, yeah. Oh, I love that, Christian. Okay, S&P opened flat. It was down 2% pre-market. Okay. Oh, good start. I can barely take my eyes off Bitcoin. It feels like there could just be a moment. Look, another executive order, I don't know what that would be, but some kind of big Bitcoin purchase, some kind of comment about Bitcoin, something that follows up that comment on US dollar as a reserve. That's the thing that could flip this on its head. I still believe something like that's coming now. Wizard of Soho buying bonds this morning. 5%, 30 years. Yeah, I mean, come on. That's hard to beat. Now, we'll talk the downside of this. Put $1 million in and get $50,000 every year for 30 years. That's fucking crazy. But the real fear there is that the dollar's not going to be worth what it's worth, that 5% isn't enough to keep up with inflation. It's that simple. That 5% a year could actually put you in a position where you've lost money over those 30 years by not putting your money in other assets. That's the fear. That's why nobody's buying them right now. It's why that rate is coming up so high. Because nobody believes it's going to be that nobody believes they can't outpace that somewhere else. And maybe that you could outpace it anywhere, at least here in the short term, and trying to evaluate things now. Ain't working. Bitcoin. This is also an important part, too. This ties into what Trump is saying, Wall Street versus Main Street. 90% of U.S. stocks held by 10% of the population. This affects maybe a lot of people here, maybe just some people here, maybe very few people here. And I mean here watching this show now. It, just to be honest, doesn't impact me. It doesn't. And so I get to look at this through this lens of, I don't have to get emotional about it. It doesn't impact me. Other things certainly will. Prices absolutely will. Job losses, that stuff will. But seeing a portfolio down, it doesn't register. And I think for a lot of people, it also doesn't register. Not that I'm rooting for this, guys. Not that I want to see the market doing what it's doing now. But it is fair to say it's a smaller part of the population that this is impacting. But I mean, okay, this is a worldwide problem at this point. So it's more than just here in the States in that 10%. It's much bigger than that. But it's how he's looking at this, and it's the game he's playing. Again, DC Investor, I really like his takes. I love it because he's not talking like he knows what's going to happen. He's just sharing his thoughts. Again, I really like it. I really like it. Where was I want to see what the main point was here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember this. I don't think I'm going to go through that whole tweet. Just basically explaining this scenario, like what's happening there, but in like kind of dumbing it down for people. Ultimately, it's the bottom here that I walk away with. This is it. Assuming here that at the end, that if this doesn't work out, again, we're talking short term, right? Short term, what can they do? It's that. It's a stimmy. It's as stupid as this. A $5,000 check, just pulling, some random number out of his ass. If push comes to shove and there is nothing that's working, they cut a stimmy, they cut a check, and they actually use that and declare some kind of victory. Everybody got $5,000, whatever the number is, right? Again, I go back to COVID. We saw what happened when the economy takes a beating, when people don't have money, when nobody can work. And what do? They send checks. It's an easy out for them. And I absolutely expect something like that as a cheat code. It's a cheat code, but they can do it because the whole game is fake. The whole game is fake. The whole game is rigged. And so they can do that whenever they want. It's just kicking the can down the road like we always do. And so, yes, I expect something like that. If no trade deals, if this stuff doesn't start getting rolled back in the short term, Bitcoin up. Bitcoin, somebody tweeted it this morning, might have been Mando, said Bitcoin feels like a coiled spring. It does. It does. At any moment, I couldn't tell you what the catalyst is, what makes it happen. At any moment, I could picture Bitcoin straight up to what? I don't know, 85, 90. Could I see a scenario where it's Bitcoin 100 plus? Yeah, but something extreme would have to happen, like probably extremely bad. Extremely bad, some kind of announcement too. But point there is, I don't see people looking to sell their Bitcoin right now with so much uncertainty out there. Everything is so uncertain that Bitcoin feels more certain than most. Ain't that wild? Isn't that crazy? And that's what we know. That's what we believed. I think it's pretty spicy what's potentially going to happen out there. Again, about Bitcoin. Hunter Horsley, who's this guy? I like him. Oh, also, is that Bitwise again? Yes, CEO of Bitwise. Again, okay. It's like confirmation bias, whatever, yeah. But I think they get it. They deal with that TradFi audience. They're speaking directly to those people out there. They know. You're a nation who doesn't trust the U.S. right now. You want to store value in something other than U.S. assets, but you don't want to own other nations' currencies or debt or assets because they're even weaker, and you expect they'll debase it. Yeah. You could buy gold. How do you get it shipped to you and in your possession? You look around and you see it. An asset that can't be debased, is controlled by no country yet, and that you can take into your possession immediately, you'll wind up buying Bitcoin. I'm sorry, the stage has never been more perfectly set for Bitcoin's moment. Never. And to a degree, that might be happening right now. I believe it is. I believe it is, even if it's to a small degree right now. But like I said, I think this is not the end of the chaos. I think this is just the start of the chaos over the next 5 years and 10 years. This does, again, tie into the AI conversation. But Bitcoin is what I think allows you to navigate through that and actually preserve your wealth, probably grow your wealth. It's Bitcoin. And it's things like this again. It's the United States and the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, and that we shall, right? The wording was shall buy more Bitcoin. Swedish MP urges the country's central bank to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. This will happen across the world. And it's things like what are happening right now that are going to drive this, that will accelerate this. Oh, is this not in English? Okay, we won't listen. Just take their word for it. The words were said, strategic Bitcoin reserve. There we go. We might have an official new SEC chair today. If they're streaming any kind of confirmation hearing, I'll certainly be tuning in. But Paul Atkins, it might be today that he's confirmed as the new SEC chair. Bullish for Bitcoin, yep. We'll see. And then, guys, just adoption in general happening everywhere. Everywhere. We saw some news about this last week. MasterCard officially partnering with Kraken to enable European users to spend crypto at over 150 million merchants worldwide. Will only continue to grow. And again, I chatted with Henry yesterday talking about stable coins. That's the real moment. Again, past the Stables Act. That is not far off. Past the Stables Act. And all of a sudden, you're going to have stables like USDC in Apple Pay, right? You'll have it there. And then Magic Eden accepts, Apple Pay for NFTs. Not that I think people are flocking to NFTs. Like, no, obviously not. But it gets them here. It gets them here. And once they're here, they start exploring. And I do think they'll be here, by the way. I do. I think there'll be so many stable coins. Your local bank, whoever you bank with offers a stable coin. Maybe it has better APY, right? People will have great incentive, especially as the stable coins battle each other for dominance. They'll be very competitive with what they offer customers. People are definitely coming to stable coins, and it's going to be a very easy onboarding tool. It is. By the way, who's this? Since Election Day, Bitcoin up 13.4%, beating gold. Incredible things is all I can say. And I still believe it's just the start. That moment might happen at any point. Okay, just for fun, a little detour. Again, I'm going to keep my eye on the timeline looking for any breaking stories with the markets open right now. I expect things to happen. I expect it. In fact, let me refresh my other screen here. Okay, guys, I hope people got into jockey this weekend. Yeah. Look, I'm not going to pat myself on the back too much for this because I certainly talk about things that lose money. I like to hope I still curate better tokens for people to look at and then make your decisions if you like them or not and want to get in. Maybe that's the best way to look at it. I curate a good list. Doesn't mean we win on them all. But I think I curate a good list that have moments where they're up and up big. And saw Jockey. You guys remember Jockey? I'll pull it up here in a minute. Jockey is a meme coin born out of the new Minecraft movie. If you haven't seen it, I'll spoil it. It's right here. Fucking kids. Chicken Jockey. It's a meme born out of the Minecraft movie. I saw it over the weekend. I saw it on Saturday. 170K market cap. I'm just putting two and two together, and it was a couple things. Very little PvP. There were 3 jockey tokens. One of them that had already reached, I don't know, well, where I saw it, 170K market cap. I think it had got to 400K. I had just heard of the meme. I just heard of it, right? And so I was very sure most people hadn't heard of this jockey meme. So I just did a little look, and there wasn't multiple jockey tokens. Again, 3 of them, but 2 of them were clearly dead. This one had been out for a week already, so somebody already knew this meme was coming. Maybe Minecraft was in markets ahead of time. Somehow somebody knew. They hadn't dumped it yet, even though it was up. I'm saying maybe we roll the dice on this. It's Minecraft. It's fucking Minecraft. We're going to roll the dice on a meme coin. Man, okay, over the weekend, did well. Again, put it on the show at 170K. On Sunday during our stream, it got up to 1 mil. It got up to, this might have been just after I killed the stream, but 1 mil got up to 1.5 mil. Great. Nice W. Hopefully people got that W. I used that money. I went to take the kids to the Minecraft movie. Movie sucks. But, and then something happened overnight last night. I hope some of you guys were still in. I was not. I did go back in, by the way. I did double dip. I went back in, made a little more off it, but not, I still sold Sunday. Something happened last night. I wish I were in still. Let me put this up here for you. Incredible things. Again, I really hope some of you guys were in here. Boom. The official Minecraft account. How many followers here? 7.5 million followers. The official Minecraft account tweets out the jockey meme. And yep, the jockey token shoots up to, guys, a $8 or $9 million market cap. Man, oh man. Again, big W's if you were in there and holding. Some of my buddies out there, maybe that are watching, actually were still in. It made 3x, 4x, 5x. If I hadn't sold, it would be something like a 40x. You can't time the top ever. But this one just seemed really, really obvious. Again, a meme that just started to spread from one of the biggest IP in the world. My mistake, and I said this even on the show, what we didn't have yet at that time, even when I sold, we didn't have the big accounts tweeting about it. We didn't have the post-weekend, movie reviews, movie content, stuff that comes out that talks about, the movies and the big moments from them. And so you had to assume, and I did, that there would be press talking about this meme. Again, and that the big accounts, Tyler and, Wizard of Soho, all these big accounts that talk about meme coins would talk about it. I didn't wait for that. I sold, wanted to lock in something. Markets looked like ass, so I just wanted to lock in a win and not lose. Again, if we held 40x, maybe actually even more than that, it's a nice W. Man, the trenches aren't cooked. And I will say that because less people are focusing on meme coins, it was an easier play. It's specifically because there wasn't much PvP. The fact that, again, there were only 3 jockey tokens. Normally you have a meme and you have 20, 30, 40. It's impossible to pick the winner when everybody's competing for their token to be the one. On top of the scammers in them too, man, with so many people not focused on memes, it was a little easier to roll the dice on this. It worked. So we'll keep our eyes on these memes still because there is action. There are people making money. You can't ignore it. Even with the market being as bad as it is, doesn't mean we disengage from meme coins. I don't think. I think the opportunities, while they're fewer and far between, I actually think they're easier right now. Just like lower the expectations with it. Anyway, I hope some of you guys profited on that. And by the way, if you're tuning in, Pudgy Grandpa, great to see you, man. Always love when you come by. If you're newer to the show, just be aware. We talk about some of the biggest meme coins very early. Got a good knack for that, and it's only because we're here all the time. But stay plugged in. Usually the big ones. We got a high batting average. We'll just put it like that. Let's look at NFTs. We're going to come back to the market too, by the way. It's still the most important thing out there right now. But NFTs. 11.6 mil. That's cross-chain sales yesterday. Sellers down. Buyers down, transactions up, average sale price down, profits, I'm assuming, about 2 mil in the negative almost. Gross. Who is moving this market here? It's Courtyard on top, followed by D-Market, Locked Ostium LP, CryptoPunks, Pandora. Hang on a second. That's got to be wash, right? There's no way that's real. Pandora's gone. I thought Pandora was going to be such a big deal, and nope. I think they disappeared. I think they made their money and are gone. Remember that, the ERC 404s? I really thought that was... I still think that's cool. I still think it's a really cool idea and token standard, but Pandora, gone. So there must have been 2 sales that were just massive. No, 1 sale, 426,000. There's no way that's real. Like, that's a wash, or it's like a bundled transfer that got picked up as a sale. There's no way that's real. Let me peek over here. Wild. I was rooting for those guys, man. Okay, this is a bundle. This is just a whole bunch of things, I think, swapped and transferred in a transaction. It looks like a sale. So that probably just needs to get zapped from the site. Yeah, I don't think that's not a purchase. Good. It makes more sense. Okay. Makes more sense. Money laundering right here. There's Bored Apes, Guardian Heroes, Pudgies. I mean, dude, there's just no volume in NFTs right now. Wow. I mean, this has got to be one of those bundles too. This is also, I mean, we're not seeing a $161,000 sale. Yeah, we got to clean up some of that stuff. The data, keeping the data organized is a lot of work. A lot of work, guys. But we love to do it. Okay, your top sales in the past 24 hours here. Punk 1182, nice hoodie Punk, selling for 142 ETH. It's $209,000. That we will zap. A bunch of Punk sales again, guys. Love it. I see guys actually in one of my group chats, somebody that is debating buying a Punk because in USD value, they're really low. Oh, dude, Bitcoin. I wish I got in. I know it's not too late, too. Bitcoin we'll talk about, too. And then we've got a known origin sale. It's another X-Copy sale. So X-Copy pieces on the move here. Actually, we'll get to that. Hang on. Do I have that queued up? I do somewhere here. Hang on. Let me pull that up. Yeah, Xcopy just continues to sell. It doesn't matter the market. You know what? The fact that these Xcopy pieces continue to sell, this is not that one. It just shows, and I think it's worth paying attention to. It just shows what the big money guys think about this market. I think, guys, I don't know, but I think that a lot of people still think this is going to be short-lived. Short-lived as in a few weeks or a few months, maybe 6 months. But people think on the other side of this, it's going to be something pretty spectacular, and I lean that way. I really, really lean that way. I'm kind of all in on that camp. That the other side of this is when Bitcoin has that explosive moment. I think this is where we see Bitcoin test, right, 150, 200K. That's what I think is on the other side of this. Again, maybe later this year, maybe this is a next year thing. But you got guys that are buying this stuff right now, X copies, Grails. Yes, even at 15 ETH Grail. X copy just is that. And so those guys are making those kind of bets. And then assuming that if this market doesn't come back the way we were hoping this cycle, maybe for years off, they don't mind holding something like this for years. In fact, a lot of these guys buying are planning to hold for 10 years. Like this is a long, long, long play. But always watching those X copy sales and they're magic. CMC's coin market caps, crypto fear and greed indexes at extreme fear. It's the lowest it's ever been. Dude. Got to tell you, you don't get the other side, the extreme euphoria, without this, the extreme fear. And I'm sorry, I look at this as the thing that's pushing the coil down, right? The lower this gets, the more scared people are, the more extreme I think the bounce back is going to be. I think it's going to play out that way. Now, if it plays out over a longer time, it's not as fast, right? It's not this like explosion. But there is the chance that that just gets unwound all at once, uncoiled all at once. I wish we knew more. I wish we knew more. Just that simple. Trump, this is on Truth Social, saying everything's going to work out well. Be cool. Be cool. Everything's going to work out well. I wish we had a little insight into what that is going to be. I wish I knew what that would be. It's not that I trust that guy, but what else? Actually, maybe that's the best way to put it. I don't trust him, but I don't trust anything else. What else am I going to do? All you can do, and this is me with no exposure to this stuff. Again, people who have exposure, I feel for you. All I can do is sit back and watch and hope. So I will hope and I will just trust that this plays out well. And I lean towards still that it will. I still lean that way because I see the potential, and that potential is all in the investments in AI and crypto and what might be coming for Bitcoin. There, Moonship, absolutely. Fear means buy. That is a lesson we've learned over and over and over and over again. You buy the fear. You do. If you know how to make money in this market, you do that. It's not even a question. In fact, you're chomping at the bits seeing what you're seeing right now. No matter what, special time here. Special doesn't mean good, by the way. I think it plays out well, really well. But special doesn't mean good. It just means it's a very special, unique, historic time. It is that. It is that. I'll say what I said earlier, too. I'm worried about war. And, right, there's a lot more that's in play here. There's a lot more. There's a lot. This is a really interesting period. Again, it's a special time. I mean, good special, but it is. We shall see. Zero Hedge. We're witnessing, who is this? Okay. We're witnessing a simultaneous collapse in the price of all U.S. assets, including equities, the dollar versus alternative reserve, FX, and the bond market. We're entering uncharted territory in the global financial system. All roads lead to Bitcoin. It is that simple. And I think you guys know too, right? Man, I almost want to throw up a poll. Are we all on the same page here? Are we all seeing that potential? I'm not saying that it is definitely going to happen. I'm not saying this is definitely the moment that Bitcoin becomes that thing. It already is that thing, right? So it takes everybody actually like having that realization or actually money where your mouth is and doing that thing. But do we all see that potential that right now is that setup for it to happen? That it could be this time? There you go. We build too. I'm going to get into vibe coding. In fact, maybe I'll have to stream it, but I want to start building apps using AI. And I have a separate AI project I've been working on. I've not told anybody other than like my best bud, but I have a little AI thing I've been working on that I think people will eat up, like love. It's not like a tool. It's a kind of content. I think people would eat it up. I think there's a way to market it or sell it and make maybe a fortune. I don't know. I don't know what to do. It's pretty fucking amazing. I'll say that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Let me continue in NFTs. Again, you guys see any spicy stories out there? Just drop them in the chat or DM me on X. China issues risk alert for Chinese tourists traveling to the U.S. Who is this? This Wedbush. Trump tariff moves are worst U.S. policy mistake since 1930. Again, we'll see. We will see. I mean, I can't disagree. I can't disagree, but we'll see. You know, it is if there's no other plan and no other thing motivating this. I do think crypto is a big thing that is motivating this. I do. Taproot Wizards, my brother Confusion here. Serge, I see the unpredictability potential for sure. Yeah. Yep. My brother Confusion. I'm so sorry, dude. We are not on the same page here, Confusion. I hope you're watching, by the way. Taproot Wizards look like shit right now. Well, dude, absolutely. I love the post. Did Ryan Carson CTO Taproot Wizards? It's now 32% below mint price and a whopping 55% below Dutch auction price. To be honest, I doubt even he would let it get this embarrassing immediately after mint, which is saying something. Doubt the market will ever trust OpCat at this point. Sentiment always follows price. I'm not going to say it's a bad take, because it's not. Taproot Wizards, like, demolished right now. As is everything in this market. Doesn't surprise me. It's not, it can't. Look at where everything is. Do I wish there was more market making? Sure. I don't care, because I think it doesn't matter if you sweep the floor, the team sweeps the floor, the price will just continue to come down. People are hurting for liquidity, the end. I don't think you need to do anything artificial here. In fact, I might actually say this is pretty awesome to see it hold a 0.14 Bitcoin floor. By the way, 60% of people minted at 0.1, so 60% of people are still up like 40%. Pretty good. That said, the comment about OpCat, there is, just so people are clear, the Taproot Wizards team is not building OpCat. It is not a thing you build. It is not a product, and especially it's not a thing that the Taproot Wizards are actively doing something with. It's a protocol. It's a few lines of code that were in Bitcoin from the start that were via a fork were removed from Bitcoin. And there's been a campaign over the past few years to bring that code back to make Bitcoin kind of like a smart chain, kinda. And Taproot Wizards just look to bring attention to that, the end. And they're just looking to ride that wave if OpCat gets re-enabled, right? To ride that wave and be the guys who championed it. And if that happens, probably some excitement around the new potential for Bitcoin. And Taproot Wizards can say, we were there. We were part of that movement. And, speculative pump, good times, people just having fun, buying up these assets. This is separate. I'm not going to get into it. No, fuck it. I'm getting into it. And I won't go deep into it, guys. But Taproot Wizards have nothing to do with OpCat other than they talk about it a lot. And I think they're building maybe behind the scenes, investing in platforms or people who are building OpCat kind of products. But that's their only relation to OpCat. So I told Confusion this morning, I get it. I get this sucks. I get it. But I wouldn't be thinking about here and now with Taproot Wizards. In this market, doesn't matter. Nothing's going to go up. You got short little speculative things that are going to go up. This is not that. This isn't that. This goes back to that DC investor post, which, fuck, I can't remember if I put it up on the screen, so I'm going to. And I'm just going to say it again. Things are going to get really weird. Things are going to get really fucking weird, guys. Fuck, do I not have that post? I can find it, actually. Things are going to get very, very, very weird. It's part of what we're seeing now, but I'm going back to the way AI is going to change everything. In fact, there's 2 posts related to it. Let me find his post. Not that one, but I agree with him there. Hang on. I want to find it because it matters. It does. There it is. The value of these digital artifacts is years down the road. We looked at Punk6529's post that Raoul Pallad retweeted. It's the same thing as this. The TLDR here, it is about tariffs. It is about the economy changing. But like I said, this is the start. This is the start of the change. DC Investor saying it's time to start thinking critically about endgame financial positioning for this empire in a world where AI and robotics are simultaneously taking off and may create the biggest deflationary consumer shock in history. That's it. That's the end. That's it. Not obvious to him where the right answers are for allocation yet. Agreed. But I lean towards, I'm taking a gamble. I think there's a big chance one of those places where you could allocate or should allocate is very specific digital collectibles, artifacts, whatever, punks, the rare art that we continue to see moving like X copies. And I still believe it's those ordinals collections. I believe it. I think that is the time frame for those. I would not buy a Taproot Wizard in the short term expecting a play. With this market, it would be nice. I was hoping it was there, but that was not the goal. The goal was endgame like that. And that, I think it's very obvious is coming. I think it's very, very obvious that's coming. It's still a matter of when. There was another tweet. It was not directly related to this, but it's part of the same conversation. It's just to speak to how drastically things are going to change. David Matten, who is this dude? I don't know, but I like this tweet. Not about markets at all, by the way. Nothing to do with markets. It's about how much things will change. Thinking about nostalgia lately, not just any nostalgia, but the nostalgia we feel for right now, this moment. Because we're living through the final days of a world before ambiguous intelligence. But we are. TikTok's a nostalgia machine. Kids who weren't even alive in the 80s and 90s are making videos romanticizing that era because it was the last time humans existed without being constantly tethered to the digital world. We are in the end stage, guys, of another shift like that. Pre-internet to the internet days. We are in the pre-AI being anything, everything, everywhere to the era where that is how life just is. It will be a different life. Again, that shift of no internet to then internet, right? It's not the same world. It's just not the same world. It's like why I say Trump trying to make things how they were. It's not the same world. He can't do that again. But that is happening. Right here, that is happening. Here's what's fascinating. We're about to experience another massive technological shift. Again, talking about pre-internet to internet days. One that'll make the internet revolution look like a warm-up act. Yes. And one day we'll look back at 2025 with the same wistful longing we now have for pre-smartphone era. I know it's hard right now to imagine being nostalgic for gestures broadly. I don't know what that means. Oh, all of this. Got it. I'm retarded. I know. But yeah, no, it's hard. It's again, I say we're bad at recognizing things in the moment. After the fact, we see it. It's very clear. But this right here is the end of these days. It is over. It is over. When AI is here and in 5 years, look, the UBI thing happens or the extreme deflationary thing happens. Money doesn't look the same. It's not valued the same. Everything is different. We will look back to today and it won't resemble anything in life at that time. Again, he's just speaking to what the world looks like in that time where I think those collections, and it's not a ton of them out there, by the way, guys, but when some of those collections have an extreme value to them, and I'm betting on that. I'm allocating towards that still. Look at that. I love it, dude. Played with Replit, AI builder, completely changes core functions without asking. Oh, interesting. I'm not sure what that is, but maybe I peek at that. It's interesting. Taproot Wizard's listing slowly goes down. Floor is the result of what most people wanted from this collection. Just do, yes, yep. And Dobro, it is people spooked. It is people who didn't have the money to be able to go into that and hold for the long term. I get it. Anybody who's selling, if it's at a loss, just you get liquid, or if you're taking the little profit that's there, and by the way, 4.04 Bitcoin is not little profit. It's a good amount of money. We're talking thousands of dollars. Anybody selling now, GG's. Again, if your game plan is to be liquid, GG's. If your game plan is that you make money on it, GG's. Anybody selling now, good on you. I'm glad anybody can make trades however it fits your game plan. But again, my game plan is long term with those. Long term. And I think it's going to play out, if not exactly how I'm expecting, much closer to that. I do not think these things live at anywhere near the prices they're at now. Nowhere near. That's US dollar value for sure. Bitcoin value, again, we'll see. Yeah, but I don't know why for me, not saying I'm right, I don't know why for me it's very obvious. Like, it just, for me, it's very obvious. Again, that world changing, it's why. Because the world changes so drastically. I try to just predict what it looks like, and it looks crazy. So the crazy take right now, just in the way that we don't recognize things, it won't look crazy during that time. Anyway, OCM had their big mint yesterday, except they didn't. It broke. Magic Eden site broke. So that mint is actually taking place today. I think that might even be now-ish, if not now, in a few hours. So the OCM mint is coming. We'll see how that does. Again, really weird time. I expect it to sell out. I expect it to sell out, so we'll keep an eye there. Also, Magic Eden has a big announcement coming today. They have announced the announcement. I wonder if today's the day they announce their decks. Big announcement. That's at 2 p.m. Okay, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Secret big announcement. Look, either they're just drumming up hype and they don't have shit. I don't think they have nothing, though. Some kind of announcement. I hope it's not I hope it's not nothing. It could be the decks. And is that a big deal in the long run? Yes. Right here, right now, I don't know. Hope it has to do with ordinals. I hope it has to do... I hope it's cool, whatever it is. And Magic Eden's got a real great knack for building cool shit. They really do. They really do. When is this clip from? I never know with these guys. I like this guy a lot, by the way. I don't know when these clips they put out are old clips they're just recycling or if they're recent. Maybe this is new. But U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent saying the U.S. is working to remove regulatory barriers for Bitcoin and crypto. Will consider reforms to unleash the power of America's capital markets. I'm excited, man. I am. We had some executive orders signed yesterday. These had to do with energy, right? So eliminated some policies against the coal industry, promoting grid security and reliability, like all about power. And where does that play out? Look, this is part of the puzzle, too. If Trump is trying to bring factories here to the States, he is. This is part of it. So again, it's all part of a big puzzle that we only get to see a few pieces. Can't see how they fit together. I can't see it. I've got some guesses about how they fit together and then what that complete picture looks like. Matt Hogan with another fucking banger here, man. Chaos is a ladder. Bitcoin's going to climb it. Again, I could not agree more. If this isn't the moment for Bitcoin, and it might not be, I don't even know if it's a 50-50 chance that this is the Bitcoin moment. I don't think it's crazy to say 15% chance that this is Bitcoin's big moment. 15. Right, not the highest odds, but it's significant enough that this is the moment where Bitcoin becomes that thing. There's a chance. There's a chance. And if it's not now, the chances only go up the further we get. It is going to happen. What else do we have? Let me peek at crypto again. I got a couple other headlines. Let's see. Bitcoin, okay, about the same. Look, I'll take the fun out there too. There's enough funny shit. Look, again, this war with China, it's not all bad. You know what I'm saying? It's not great. It's not all bad. It's just a great post. Devastated to imagine a future where I can no longer purchase the same piece of plastic online from my favorite sellers. Biwaho? Tie? Like, dude, okay, this is where people, first off, are really going to feel the impact of tariffs. You going to buy shit on Amazon. That's simple. You go to buy shit on Amazon, and all of a sudden, it's either not there or prices are double what you're used to, if not more. That's coming. That's coming, and that's coming like now, like today, tomorrow, later this week, next week. That's coming now. That'll be a wake-up call for people. I also got to tell you, too, again, good conversation with Henry yesterday. Shit, I might see if he wants to pop in here. But I expected, because of the tariff thing, that, like, right, he owns a flooring shop and he knows how tariffs impact his business. Cost goes up. He knows it. He has to pay more. He has to pass it on to customers. I think that's what he said. So I was expecting with these tariffs that his store would be dead right now. Not that he has those costs yet, but nobody's looking to spend money because they're scared. Said it's the opposite. Slammed. In the past few days, slammed. Like, so incredibly busy. Point there is, as of right now, this doesn't impact people at all. Now, again, that changes if he has to pass costs onto those customers, but he's shocked too. People are spending like crazy. I can't look, like I say, I'm not going to tell you I know where this is going. You don't listen to anybody. Even the experts out there, the biggest names out there that tell you where this is going still don't know, because they don't know what the cards that are really in Trump's hand. They think they know. They know some of the cards in his hand. They don't know all the cards. Nobody knows. Nobody knows where this is going. Oh, some of these Besant comments are now. Like, there's a lot of comments breaking. Look, I mean, like, this is great.
Stable coin.
I mean, these are big comments.
We will take a close look at regulatory impediments to blockchain, stable coins, and new payment systems. And we will consider reforms to unleash the awesome power of the American capital markets. Americans deserve a financial services industry that works for all Americans, including and especially Main Street. Under President Trump's leadership, the Treasury Department and I will deliver that to you. Thank you.
Again, there's a lot more going on here. There's a lot more going on here. And crypto has a big role in all of this. Agreed here. I think the Fed does step in and cut rates. What the fuck do I know? But it makes sense. Again, it is one of the cards that can be played to help alleviate the stress on the markets right now. Rate cuts. Again, there will be a stimulus somehow, some way. What I'm very curious about, I don't know this, by the way. There you go. What I don't know, I'd like a live look at global M2. I don't know how anything that's happening right now impacts M2, right? Global money supply. Does this actually push us deeper? Like, we're at an all-time high, at least what we were as of a couple days ago. Are we even higher now? Is there more money in the market? I don't know if there is. Or does this actually pull it back? I don't know. And when do we get to the point where if those 10 and 30-year treasuries keep going up, and nobody's buying them, when our own government steps in and has to buy them? They've done that before. That's like a last resort. But that is one of the ways that is handled. Our own government buys it. It's bullshit. Again, it just shows how fake and manipulated our entire economy is. But that is one of their last resorts. I don't even know if it's a last resort. Certainly not something they look to do. But that is one of the probably likely outcomes if we keep going this direction here with nobody bending the knee. It heads that way. It definitely does. Those are the same. Okay, those were the same posts. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, I wonder what else might be coming today. There will be something. There will be something. Here's Schiff. Trump is wrong. Foreign producers will not pay our tariffs. They'll sell fewer goods in the U.S. as American consumers will not be able to afford to pay the tariffs. But they will still sell some goods to those American consumers who can afford to pay the tariffs. Yep. Guys, we shall see. We shall see. Hello. I got a fun for you. I do. I really do. I like it a lot. The EU says it'll be imposing its first countermeasures against U.S. tariffs beginning April 15th. There we go. All right, guys. Oh, we'll throw this up here too. I don't want to get into this really, but Ethereum's in a tricky spot. Devs on Ethereum feeling very unsure about Ethereum. Does that help anything? No, but The fun on Ethereum is everywhere. It's not just the token price. Oh, Luna, no. I know you're fucking around, but boy, I can't think of something I'd rather hold than Bitcoin. Just pure Bitcoin. Be cool. Everything's going to work out well. Amazing. Yeah, there we go. All right, guys. I hope today's fun. At the very least, I hope it's fun. More developments, I'm sure, coming. We'll talk about them tomorrow morning on the show. A reminder, tomorrow morning show will be at 8 a.m. Eastern time, not 9. Because we have our spaces with Vader and crew. I cannot wait for that. I'll drop this in the chat here. Boom, there we go. Again, smash the like on your way out. Make sure you're subscribed and following all of the socials. It's Crypto Slam on YouTube. It's Crypto Slam IO on X. And the Swarm_AI also on X. I'll be live at 2 p.m. Eastern time today with the Swarm Report. We'll go over everything happening in AI. Tokens, prices, market, top stories. Should be a good one, guys. In the meantime, enjoy your day, guys. Appreciate you hanging. Good luck.